Okay, who is excited today?
We are today.
We're so excited to share with you what happened last Wednesday, because it's so exciting. You know about the business, or you know about certifications, or maybe you're thinking of doing something, working with your horses to help humans. But when you hear the stories, they inspire you as to why you're moving forward to want to be in this industry, because it just fills your cup, your bucket, your soul, your heart. It's such a privilege. It's so humbling. There's just so many beautiful attributes that make actually a human being a really good human being. But, it just takes you to a place that you're just so grateful on a regular basis.
And, we are grateful, and we feel very blessed to be able to do what we do. And we get moments all the time. Every program we run, there's always something that comes away with it, and we're like, wow, that was really that's really cool. But then every once in a while, there is a program that blows our minds. And from the change from people when they come in and they first sit
They're foul.
In this group, I'll tell you in a minute, but this group was foul, man. So when they go from that to at the end having a revelation or feeling something in their life that they maybe haven't felt in years, it's just such a privilege to be a part of that. And it still does, it humbles us to that point that we get to feel like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is really what we're supposed to be doing, and how it's supposed to be rolling for us too. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon, beautiful. She says, thank you. It's always nice to hear. And we always like to see you on too, Miss Sarah. So we'll get to, and hopefully we have a few other people joining here as well. And as you guys do come in, let us know who you are, where you're from, so that we can say hello, because we like to do those pieces as well. But we'll let you know a little bit about us first and foremost.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you moving?
Yeah.
Are you moving the technology
Maybe
pieces?
We'll do this piece. We'll do us first, and then we'll
go through the regular rigmarole, as
right.
Charles always says.
It is what I say.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, first of all, I'm Carolyn. This is what you should know about me. I don't understand why it's been such a day already today, but my words have not been great. So wait, for this is going to be a profound statement. So my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and facilitator with the Equine Connection. The cool part about how I started my journey is I did not start as an entrepreneur, and I did not start as a horse person. So those things that normally would be something, but somebody would think of that as two strikes against me, it actually really helped me out in a lot of ways, because I always looked at the horse as a teacher. I didn't ever look at them as a tool or as something that we use. I always was looking for, what are they saying? How are they teaching us? How are they impacting someone? What is the difference between the horse now versus the horse then? So it really was a benefit for me to start out without having that horse experience. And of course I had somebody to help me through, which was amazing as well, to get used to all that good horsey stuff and learn how to pick up feet and do all and 16 years later, I'm pretty good. I got to say, I've come a long way. But even the business side of things, didn't start on that side wanting to be. So it's not that I couldn't be. I did not want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to do sales. I didn't want to do any of those pieces. But as it turns out, when you have a passion for your business and you really do know what it is that you want out of it, and it's something that lights your fire, it's amazing how you can become these things without it feeling like you're doing something you didn't want to be doing, right? So the sales piece, all of those really did come together nicely for me as well. And it allowed me to have a different balance in my life where I love what I do and I get to go home and still have all those lovely pieces with it as well. But it's a lovely balance that it affects my life in a good way, those around me, as well as all the participants that we get to help through as well.
It is so true. I love that. I love even recalling the story as to why.
Yeah.
Should we do the regular rigmarole before we get back to my intro? Like with the life sharers? Life-changing sharing.
Life sharers.
Who are you? Where are you from?
Yeah, we could do those pieces.
I think we should.
And then we'll go back
Sarah,
to you.
I love you to death, and I'm so happy you're joining us. But we are hoping that there are some more people who are out there that
to join us as well. Yeah.
Join us. We like that.
So first and foremost is that lovely hashtag, holy jumping tuna fish. So if you do hear something today that blows your mind, and you will, because when we tell you about this program,
you're gonna, whoa.
Like, you'll be blown away. The amount of time and the outcome. The amount of time and the outcome, people, you don't
Oh,
see that places.
It's so true.
Any hoodle. So you will throw in a holy jump and tuna fish at one point. The next one we want you to know about is that hashtag of we are life changers. And again, we are not just talking about us. All of you, all of your horses, all of your animals, every single being on this earth has the opportunity to change a life for the better every day that we live and breathe. And it's up to us to choose to take that opportunity. And it really is about kindness, people. And I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here for a quick second while some more people come in. YouTubers are mean. So we have YouTubers.
Oh,
so speaking of spreading kindness, that includes when you are behind a computer screen, people, when you are sitting there and you think to yourself, I didn't like this video. Should I comment on it and insult people? Stop, think to yourself again and say, no, I don't need to comment on it and insult people for no good reason who are trying to better the world one day and one horse at a time.
Right?
So spread a little kindness.
It's so true, man. People are mean and nasty behind some of those screens. And you're just trying to do something good. And then
you're stupid,
you fat or ugly, or you're a liar, or you this. And it's like, wow, ooh, take it down a notch.
Yeah, that seems excessive.
Yeah, like we could have a conversation, people.
Yes, any hoodle. So spread that kindness around, people. We need more of it in this world. And we also need more people to watch us. So share this out. We want you to share this out, because even the horse people who are out there right now who maybe didn't know that this is a career that they could take a part of, or people who maybe want to interact with horses and don't know that this is something that, or a way that they can learn, share this out, because this is a feel good one today, you guys. So we want people to feel the goodness that the horses bring to us, and share it out that this is a possibility for our lives as well.
Absolutely. I love it.
Alrighty.
So for myself, hi, everybody. My name is Carrie Fulmeck, and I am the founder of the Equine Connection, a master instructor helping people do what it is that we do, which again is the greatest job on earth. But I also want to share with you, I was searching for so much in my life, trying to find that purposeful piece of what is Carrie Fulmeck doing here on earth? What does Carrie need to do to not only fill your own being, because you do have to do that, but we're here to help humans. We are here to help one person. So I was looking for something in that area that isn't selling things. I didn't want to sell things anymore. And I tell you, like when equine assisted learning came into my life, and trust me, there was some doubts of figuring out how would this work. I've been doing it for 16 years now. But seriously, if you count all the times I dreamt of working with horses, for how long I've been wanting to work with horses, like that is like when I was a young person, but even in my early 20s, I wanted desperately to do something with horses. I just didn't know what it was. And I have to tell you, it's a process even through that journey in your life. And it's beautiful that it finally got me to the place that I could be a part of horses every day, breathe, smell them in, but actually work with them as a teacher, where literally they teach, we facilitate. It is life-shattering
goodness.
And like
goodness.
There's just not good enough words to explain what happens to you when you actually create this in your own communities, or you create it in your own areas, because people, they just don't know that it exists yet. And it helps people so much in mental health. And this is huge in our disconnected world right now. The power and what these horses provide every single time to your clients, you will sometimes even break down and cry, because you're like, it's so amazing that I got to witness a change in a human just because the horses did something, and just because they were empowered enough to take their advice or make that change.
And we were knowledgeable enough to understand them and actually allow them to do those pieces too, right? So that's the biggest part of it, is understanding that horse. So we make sure we're allowing them to do the teaching. We're allowing them to be a part of it in the way that they need to, versus putting our humanisms on horses.
Yeah, no good.
They don't exist.
So, it can happen for you. You might be searching and looking for, what is it that I want to do when I grow up? And it could just be this beautiful and this simple, because you already have the horses. So, you have the horses. Why don't create it into a business so you can make a living, but be able to help a human one program at a time every time you run it? So this is definitely going to take us into what happened, last Wednesday with the Calgary Dream Center guys. And of course, you can watch it on replay too.
Yep.
You always say that because you like to know if they are.
Yeah, we want to know. We want to know you were here, and I appreciate Heidi. You came in and said hi, girls, too. We love that. So if you are watching, show us, tell us who you are and where you hail from.
So how these programs work, and I know you've heard some of them before, but we always run orientation. So orientation is using the objective of knowledge. So helping our clients who come in to have the knowledge of why the heck do we work with horses? Like, why them and not other animals? So it's very, very powerful. We actually have many people who actually even cry even during the orientation, and we're still not even with a horse, but they're crying because they feel, well, just like horses, they're the most feelers of all beings. They feel something that connects to them when they hear the story of why we work with horses in the horse way, how a horse thinks, how a horse actually works. We're not putting human ideas or thoughts onto them. So how that usually works is we're about probably 20 minutes in a classroom setting. So we're introducing the objective. Then we take it out and we do a whoa and a safety demo and how the horse actually talks to you. Because if you don't know how the teacher is going to teach you, don't know how he's going to talk back to you in his body language, it's kind of useless, right? So we go through all of this process. And then, of course, we get lots of interaction because people want to know all kinds of things. Then we probably only have, I want you to understand this, because we work with our horses like for 1.5 hours each time we run a program. So 1.5 is the max that we run. So you're not working with horses like every day. Like we work twice a week working with our organizations. So the first one's always the longest. So here we're like 15 more minutes we have in the arena. So Carolyn puts them into teams. We do a little breathing thing. We introduce who our horses are, the teachers, and what they're great at teaching. And then away they go. They just go to groom, get to know the horse.
Move the horse a little.
Move the horse, like to know the gas pedal and the brakes sort of idea. But that's it. It's very, very simple on the very first program.
So how this program rolled is when they came in, it was right off the bat, a bit of a different vibe in the room. And you can always feel it, right? But they sat down. There was a lot of crossed arms. There was a lot of challenging questions, if you will, about what we were saying and how they were different than dogs or other such things like that. But more so questions on kind of explaining to us in a different way that they thought it was BS.
They were very clear. Sometimes a little bit more combative too. Like, I'm going to prove to you that what you're saying is all fluff. But of course they never could, because it didn't matter what came out. We have our research and our evidence, and we have the dissection of the horse brain. We know what we're talking about.
So at this point, we know in our heads, okay, this is going to be, we'll say the information because we have to give them that knowledge piece. We'll do our demos and all of these pieces, but we know at this point, it's going to be up to the horses, because the horses are always the proof in the pudding. They are always the ones who help bring it all together and make them realize that we're not liars. But I think a big part of this group too, is that there was a lot of people in there that felt judged already, not necessarily by us, but in life. And it wasn't until at the very end when we said about how, or the very end of the briefing, that we said about horses cannot judge. It was interesting to see how the dynamic changed just a little bit then. So we go out, we do our woe and safety, still talking about the horses, still challenging questions.
And we had about, 8 guys there?
I think so,
with the Dream Center last week. So the Dream Center comes once a week. It's 52 weeks a year. Like, that's how it rolls, so that they're always coming in. And 8 guys are all sitting here. And of course, they're going through their own.
We had 7 guys.
We had 7.
That's how this all rolled as well with the one fella. Because we did ask, and normally we put everybody into teams, right? So that they have, not only do you build the knowledge by yourself and build the knowledge with the horse, you also have another human, because we do want to still build that connection with humans as well, right? That's a big part of what we do. So we did put them into teams, but we had 1 extra because we had brought in 4 horses. So Carrie, and we usually wouldn't even do this, we would usually just let a horse out, but Carrie said, is there anyone that wants to go on their own? Now, oddly enough, the one fella that, he was definitely not feeling us at the beginning, but the one fella just, right away, he wants to go on his own.
And I think that was the gut feeling, though, because being a facilitator, we are intuitive. Like, I'm not saying Carolyn and myself are just intuitive. We all have the intuitive ability, like a horse, but even as we were, getting them off into their teams, it's like something hit me. And I was actually thinking this guy needs to be on his own, but I didn't know if it was going to work that way because we don't assign the people to the horses.
Yeah, but very cool. So he says he's going to go on his own. He's going to go with Kokanee. Now, Kokanee is our big black Hanoverian thoroughbred. He is a big dude, and his teaching is ambition. Now, Kokanee, he knows he's big. He knows he can just walk away whether you're holding the lead rope or not. And he teaches very, very well and very strongly. We
Confidently, if you
will.
He
is a confident teacher. So it was very interesting as this guy walked up to Kokanee. We untied him and everything. So he had the ability to move around if he needed to.
Always untie horses, because then it gives them an exit, which again creates that safety so that horses can tell you where they're at, what they're feeling with those clients.
And it was so interesting with Kokanee, because Kokanee, he gets itchy. He gets lots of bug bites this time of year, and he is allergic to them. So he gets quite itchy and that sort of thing. So normally he wants his head scratched or something scratched right away. First thing he did was bring his rump and planted the side of his hip. Thank you. Look, what is this on my person?
What is this thing?
Yeah. The side of his hip right on this guy and like leaning into him, which was very cool too. And then he started doing this stuff with his mouth. He needed to talk. He needed to release something. He needed to move or whatever it was. So this guy's just sitting there with his arm on his hip, on Kokanee's hip, and Kokanee's head is by me. And he is just trying to talk a little. Let me talk. I need to help. I need to release. I need to do something.
The muzzle is just going wild
all over the place. And it wasn't for scratches. It wasn't like he just needed to help whatever this was release. And this went on for quite some time where he was just desperate to get all that. And then the yawning started. Yawn. Well, in that matter of time that it took, so maybe 5 minutes that all of this is going on, this guy who, I mean, he's a tough looking dude, and we've learned not to judge people by what they look like. And he had mentioned he had spent a lot of his life in jail, and he'd gone through a lot, right? But he
wasn't shy about it. I've been in prison for most of my life. And then you've got the teardrop and the tats.
It would be easy to judge a person.
Beautiful, like human. I mean, humans are, right? And they're coming to want to learn. So you actually try to be like a horse, and you really work hard at being human to not judge anyone else, because we never walked in their shoes. And
I'd rather, if I'm going to make a judgment, judge him on the fact that he made the choice to do something better for his life, which a lot of people don't ever do in the first place. So we're always very open with whoever comes, but this guy turned into a big old marshmallow with Kokanee, and I think it took 5 minutes for him to fall in love. And all of a sudden it was a completely different atmosphere in that arena for him and Kokanee working together. I loved watching that beginning part, just yawn. And he was touched by this, but wanted to be at his hip at first and ground nonstop. It was very cool.
So every single horse group that was out there, it was, again, we were only there 15 minutes. Now, Carolyn has been busy with one of the fellas for at least 5 minutes, just her and him, because big things were happening with Kokanee and that client. So my goodness, the other 3 teams that were happening, and we always have a counselor or leader there as well. Oh my gosh, like again, this is 15 minutes. But what they came out of it with is, this is so outrageous, because we're doing it, everyone's safe, the horse is safe, the humans are safe, but the humans are having to make changes like quickly, just like we had taught them in the briefing part. So that orientation, the knowledge. We come back in. Now the debrief in our programs is always, to me, the most spectacular place, because you come in with this, and lots of people do, because they just don't want to be there. Like, they're working on their life. It's hard stuff for them. So they show up, and I don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And then they go with the horses, afterwards, it's like hands are in the air. Like, that's all I can explain how it always looks at each and every time. Oh my gosh. So they pick the words.
Phenomenal words.
Yeah. Phenomenal words. These 7 men openly express what happened to them with their magnificent teachers. Now, it's mind-blowing just listening to what it is that they are saying. Then we have them write in their journals or reflection of what it is that happened for them. So My gosh, that's amazing. But even the after the fact, we do all of this talking. These guys are just being so open. It's like, I don't know, it was like the safest place on earth to be. Like there was something so powerful in what those horses brought to the table. And the horses were still in the arena, but everybody gathered around to hear each other express.
And even how they paralleled what it meant for each other. Like they helped each other out with that piece. That's just like you said before, but you know, like when you were saying about this, that's exactly what the horse taught you. Like it was very cool to see how they literally did help each other through how this is going to apply to their lives and how they can really take this information, and how they've maybe told them that they saw something within that person, but they never believed it before, but the horse saw it too. So now you have to believe it, right? Like it was really cool how they all rolled through. So I think we'll read a couple of these.
Yeah, we're going to read you a couple, and we're saving the very last one, the one who is more combative.
He was not sure about us.
Wasn't sure about us, didn't really believe any of the stuff we were saying, but what happened to him and what he needed to share with they call each other the bros because it's a men's group. Oh my gosh. And then the hugs and stuff after.
So just as a couple to share, one fellow wrote, just how privileged I am to be here working with the horses, knowing I am privileged to be here and in recovery and to be here at all. Pretty cool. Another one said, I learned that I need to be more present in the moment with who I am around so that I can listen and I can actually help more. Each moment I will try to focus on the conversation that I'm in or the actions happening around me. Another one was to trust, have confidence and patience. Another one was to have patience. Everything in life takes time, especially renewing the heart, mind, body, and soul. I need to be more patient with myself. Take a moment to breathe and relax within myself and proceed with patience. Very cool one as well. Trust, because I was very scared at first. So I had to feel it out by petting him and observing him until I felt safe and until I knew he was safe with me. So I ended up loving him, and trust which is key for bonding. Start trusting people and give them a chance. So those are just a few that we had with the fellas.
So then the one guy, as we're handing out the journals or what my horse taught me, he said, do I have to write it in these lines or can I write my own way on the back of it? I'm like, go to town, whatever.
Can I write a letter to Kokanee?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Write to his thoughts.
And we're like, yeah, you can.
Yep.
Big marshmallow man.
So tell him exactly how this rolled down.
So the cool part about this is that he's writing and he's going through this, and you can tell he's really pouring his heart into it. So before he gave it back to me, because we do collect them, obviously, each time, he asked the rest of the guys. Now, the interesting part is in the arena, he's told me that he chose to go by himself because he's an introvert. Mm-hmm. He doesn't share with people. He doesn't try to build relationships necessarily with people. So then at the end, he writes all this out and he told the guys, you know, I wrote all this out and I really feel right now that I can share it with you guys. Do you mind if I read this to you?
And so the guys gathered around.
And yes, and they all came in like, yeah, of course, man. Like it was so freaking sweet.
So beautiful.
I could have died. So then we're going to read you what he wrote to Kokanee. And you guys should have seen, we read this to Kokanee after too. It was, oh my gosh, it was so stunning and we do read them to the horses because we think that they deserve to hear what they've done for people as well. But Kokanee knew this was to him. Kokanee, the freedom you gave me was instant. I have been in a prison of my mind for 37 years and a physical prison for over half my life. You gave me the most freedom of mind, body as far as I can remember. Nothing else mattered at all, just the connection we made. I have carried so much pain and sadness that I bottled up in my life. The taps of emotion have been sealed since I was 9 years old. You felt my pain that I mask. I know you felt it. You carried my burden for me, which I am thankful. Carrying the memories of violence, death, and prison have given me PTSD and sleepless nights. Thank you for helping me heal and letting me know you understand my pain by carrying it and me. I have a new friend. See you next week, buddy.
You see, like we can't even create magic like this to happen. It's only the horses that can do such a thing. And this is why when we understand what these beautiful creatures need and then what they give back to these humans. But this is so profound because not only after they did all of this, like they didn't want to leave. And we haven't had a group who, like they went out to have a smoke because they always need to have a smoke after. Not all of them, just being in the fresh air, but they continually kept coming back in. So even this fella, we were in the arena releasing or sweeping our horses. He came back in to share with us again, not only how grateful and thankful he was and the experience, but also to let us know, like, everyone in his life has died and he's been abandoned since he's been 9. He doesn't even have parents. Like, it was such a sad story, but he was so open in wanting to share it
and be vulnerable and tap into all of that crap that's been stuck in him for so long. Just like how he wrote to Kokanee, he carried it for him for that moment. And once we knew this part and everything, that made so much sense as to what Kokanee was doing when he first got together with him, because he was like, dude, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this, man. And it was just so phenomenal. And even before he had come back in, right as we ended, he was like, can I just go out and say goodbye to Kokanee again? And, a lot of the times we don't bring in the same horses every time. We let them, see different teaching methods and everything. We will be bringing in the same horses this week.
And they specifically asked, and this little Joshua, like, we have 2 18-year-olds, which just, when you're a parent, you want to bring them in, but you still want to give them wings to be able to fly on their own. And the one 18-year-old, he's been here now a second round, which is so cool. And, even what was happening with him, and he was with a new guy who had come into the Dream Center. And he goes, there's my guy. Disco is his guy. That's my boy, that I get to be with my boy again. And I'm going to show the new guy how to do it. Well, Disco, he no movie whatsoever. So, of course, I step in because that's what we're talking. And I said, so what's changed for you then? He goes, I don't know. He's my boy. I don't understand what's happening. Well, his pal who was with him said, well, you're really cocky. And I said, cocky? So is that what's changed for you? And he goes, well, it's because I'm confident. And the guy says, no, you're cocky. Your ego is totally in this picture. I'm like, oh, ego, here we go, because horses don't have ego. So he had to go to a place again, which is so important in life, because you can't carry those egos around with you, right?
And the true confidence in leadership versus the one that we want people to see.
The persona,
us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or persona. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it is actually. Then the other 18-year-old. Oh my goodness, it was so precious. So they're leaving, but he comes back in and he looks at me and he's, thank you so much. Like, you will never understand. I was shaking. I was so nervous. I have no trust in humans. What those horses gave to me and you guys. And I said, oh my gosh, like, I want to hug you. And he walked right into my arms. Like, this is this is a child to me. He walked right in and gave me the biggest hug. He goes, this is going to help me for my whole week in recovery at the Dream Center. So I just can't believe how powerful it was. It was surreal in so many different ways, but it's so real. You know what I mean?
And you get a little buzz of happiness and everything after every program, because it goes, most programs. Sometimes you're like, whoa, that was busy. But you get that, like, oh, we were flying so high after this program. Like, the feelings that we got from it were just phenomenal. Like, and then when we say it fills your cup and that kind of thing, like, we really do mean, like, this has been, we're a week after this and you can still see how much this has affected us.
Yeah.
And this we will remember for our entire lives, just like we know he will too. All of them will remember this piece. And that's just the power that horses have. I don't know too many other things, like, this is a life event for these people and we got to be a part of it.
No, it's such a privilege.
Oh, and I love Sarah's. The beautiful Faye even broke me down. She says, what happens is beautiful. It's so true. And Tanya says, I can't wait to start seeing these stories firsthand.
You're going to love it. You are definitely going to love it. And any one of you who are out there, and if you're sharing, like, please don't ever hesitate to connect with us. That's the one thing we really pride ourselves on. And let us help you to understand what it is that we do, because it could be your calling. It could be your purpose to be able to move forward in your community and help those who desperately need to have connection again. But, we always do say the certification course itself is just as much for you as it is for anybody else. It so really true. Is. And then you come to the in-person practical trainings. And I do have to tell you, that's the piece that brings and I want to use the word, but I don't, but it's magical. Like you
Dots
don't,
the I's, crosses the T's.
Everything is answered when you're literally here, when you literally see the clients, when you literally are facilitating the clients, when you literally are going through the programs yourself in real time. It's like, wow, like you're flying, because you just cannot believe not only what our horses or other people's horses will be doing, because they speak one language, but what it will do for you and your clients, because you're going to change lives. You really are.
It's true. Sarah says, our in-person was the best 3 days I've ever experienced.
Because it is just the bestest. And when we know as an individual what we're doing in our next step in life and our journey, we're worth it to make the time and the effort into ourselves, invest in ourselves, spend money on ourselves, go travel if you have to. It's all that same concept,
Yeah, it's true.
I love it. So
that was our story of the week, and we're pumped because we get these guys back
today. So we'll let you know how it goes. We've got a couple of gifts for them too. So we'll keep you guys on track with that. But if you need anything, please just do not hesitate. We are here on a phone call. We're here through email. Like, seriously, if you don't hear back from us, then something is wrong.
Yep.
Because we answer you back, and it's pretty darn quick.
I will say, though, if you call, leave a message.
Yeah,
I don't know who you are if you don't leave a message. I don't understand.
Oh, and texting. Like, texting is
Tell me who you are.
Great way.
Yeah. Start with, hi, I'm Sarah. That helps me.
I'm interested. Exactly.
So our website is up there, you guys. You can find all of our contact info on there as well. Or, of course, if you're watching in Facebook, you can message us there too. And we are more than happy to get back to you with any information you might need so you can experience this life changing stuff every day you run a program as well.
So true.
Have a great week, everybody. And we will see you all. I think we're going to know next week.
Oh, we're with Guelph next week.
That's
right. Oh my goodness. You do want to join us next week, because it's going to be on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time, but with the Guelph University. So you definitely want to come follow us. But interesting enough, we're doing it on Guelph's Facebook page.
Yes. So we'll put a link up. We'll get some stuff.
Yeah, we'll be sharing it. But there is a fun thing that we're giving away. Like, we're going to give it to you. We are collaborating with Guelph to do this. So you want to be a part of the live next week, because you get it. It's a gift. It's a giveaway. It's something fun. You're going to bring it into the bathroom. You're going to bring it into the bedroom. You're going to bring it into the TV room. You are going to bring it everywhere, because you want this gift that we're giving out.
Yeah, you guys will have to let us know where you bring it to. So I love this comment too. Is it Hardy? Keep up the good work. A big fan from South Africa. It's funny. We've had a few people contact us from South Africa. And the one thing that's very cool is sometimes it's not always easy to travel the long distances as well. So we do have a solution for that as well. If you can't always attend the in-person practical training. So if you are interested in that, feel free to send us a message on that one too.
And I love that, because I was just watching something on South Africa, because I'm all about the elephants. Elephants are huge for me. And they're huge.
And they are huge.
Yeah. Elephants, they're just my heart and soul as well, and how they speak through the stomach. And it's just so many amazing things. But it was called The Reluctant Traveler. So any of you who don't know what to watch, because there's such crappy stuff on every channel that there is nowadays, The Reluctant Traveler with our Canadian Eugene Levy. Oh my gosh, is it a great little series? And I love it, because I think it's like only 30 minutes at a time, but he takes you to a different place. In South Africa there's the big 5 in South Africa and the animals. So there was only one animal that he did not get to see.
Cool.
Could I name them all again? The lion, the elephant, the rhino, the water buffalo. What's the other big one?
Zebra, giraffe.
No.
Hippo. I'm just listing things. I don't even
Anyway, okay. Yeah. You don't want to hear this anymore. Okay, everybody.
We digress.
Have an amazing week. And just share it out. Let people listen to what you can do working with your horses and helping a human being to be able to connect.
Have a great week, everybody.